But I do want to talk to you for just a little bit about the church being the bride of Christ and being married to Jesus, and then actually being the mother of those that are the saved, those of the product of Jesus and the church coming together, and those the product. How many know that if you're saved, you're a product of that union? Amen. I pray and bless you. Right in the right place. When Jesus and His bride come together, there should be a product of that union. There should be a product of the union that comes from Jesus and the church coming together. I know it's hard to get our minds wrapped around coming back down to it's church time, but I promise you I'm not going to scream and holler at you like I normally do. It's not going to, I don't mean to scream and holler at you, but sometimes I get a little loud. But I just want to let you know that it's time to come to church. But just if you give me 15, 20 minutes, I promise I'll get you out of here. So everybody just kind of look at my nose for 15 or 20 minutes. Turn your ears on. Put your phones down. And if you have your Bible, I'm just teasing with Matthew. But does he have his Bible? He's got his Bible on. And I don't mind that at all. But you know what? This isn't Bible. He wasn't doing that. He was scrolling. Am I with you? Okay. And so I just want to let you know. Just if you'll give me 15 or 20 minutes, I will preach a word to you, get it into your spirit, and send you down the road. Amen? And when Jesus comes together with His bride, there should be a product, or there should be something that comes out of that union. Something should happen. When Jesus is in a church, souls should be saved. When Jesus and the church come together, what happens is that there is a union that takes place, and the marriage covenant is much like the covenant of Jesus and the church. I believe that God put the marriage covenant together so we could see how Jesus and God work and how the church works. What I mean by that is this. Husbands should be the head of their household and love their wives as Christ loved the church. Amen. And that they should see the attributes of Jesus in their dads. Okay? And that didn't work over there. I'll try over here. That they should see the attributes of Jesus in the fathers. But the mothers should show the attributes of the church. Are you with me? Okay, I'll try the middle. The mothers should show the attributes of the church. What are the attributes of the church? Loving, caring, desire to have you with you, nurturing. Those are the desires of the church. It should not be anything evil or bad, things like that. But listen, there's supposed to be a product of the union of Jesus and His bride coming together. Just like when a man and a woman are married and they come together in a union, there should be a product of that union. There should something happen. God set it up where men and women have children. Okay? I've testified of that 4 times. Okay? Now I know that we're imperfect beings. I know that some people aren't able to have babies. And my heart goes out to you, especially the women and men who long to have them. And they try everything they know to try and spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and it just doesn't happen. And all I can tell you is that we're imperfect people. We're imperfect beings. Our bodies are not made perfect. And sometimes there are things that happen in our bodies that just aren't the will of God, that they should be like that. But they are just that way. There's problems that happen in our bodies. There's either the man or the woman, either one or maybe both, have problems where they can't reproduce and have children. But you know what? There's a whole bunch of children that need fathers and mothers that are sitting today in orphanages or sitting today in foster care and just hoping and longing for somebody to be their father, be their parent. And I hope I don't want to embarrass Cheryl at all or Brother Dean at all. But when I see what they do with Alec and Rihanna, it's amazing to me that they just stepped in and taken on that role, and I'm very proud of them. And they're very good children. If I had a house full, we had a house full of them on Wednesday night like that, I'd never have a problem. They're wonderful. They don't ever give us a problem. They do what they're supposed to do. They do what Cheryl tells them to do. It's the truth. And I'm very proud of her, and I thank God for them, and I thank God for the effort that they put together. But listen, there's children like them everywhere that need somebody to love them, need somebody to correct them. needs somebody to help them, needs somebody to just nurture them and teach them how to be young men and young women, and how to respect themselves, and they just need that. And my brother will be up this afternoon. He has 8 foster children, and they're adopting, and they're going to be their children. And so I'm not talking about something I read about in a book. I'm watching it in my life. My sister adopted her daughter, and she wasn't able to have children. And I've seen how God blessed her, and her daughter is a wonderful young lady, and very talented artist, and she gets to go to the arts fair, all the arts, whatever is it arts fair, the art festival. That's what, and she goes and displays her stuff, and she's a very good artist, and I'm very proud of her. But you would not know that she was not their natural daughter. To look at her, and she fits. You know, God has a way of making people fit. And listen, I'll just be honest with you. How many of you guys heard me preach about the sheep? My sheep know my voice. Anybody remember that? If I tell you that the wall is beige and you keep telling me it's gray, we're not seeing eye to eye. But maybe not everybody fits. Okay. Not that we can't adopt everybody, but not everybody always fits. Does that make any sense? Okay. That's another subject for another time. Man, time is flying. All right. We're talking about a spiritual union with Christ and the church, and they come together and they produce children. How many of you are a product? Listen to me for just a few minutes. How many are you of a product of this church? Great. The rest? Okay, cool. I mean, how many were birthed out of the spiritual birth out of this church? You guys saved here. That's what I'm trying to say. Evidently, I'm not saying it very well. That's good. You got saved here. This is home to you. This church is the mother that birthed you. This is the church that sets you on a course of salvation. This is the place where you heard the word preached and the word began manifest in your spirit, and you took off from here. That's awesome. Okay, how many did not get saved, or you got saved somewhere else? Cool. That's awesome. That's everybody saying that they're saved, so that's cool. All right, that's good. But listen to me. Wherever that was, God came, Jesus and that church, that bride, made offspring. And you're the offspring of Jesus and the bride, which is the church. You are the offspring of that. And now the church has to be the mother that takes care of the offspring. I am so thankful that, listen, God made it that way. Women have children. Women have children, not men. Amen. Women feed children, not men. They're made with their own ability to feed the child they just had. Hear me? Where men, the baby would starve to death and be dirty, and that's just how it goes. But women have that natural thing inside of them, and God made their bodies to where they're able to nurse the child they just had. God's made where they're able to nurture that baby and then take care of that baby that they just had. How many of you women who had children, you fell in love with your baby the day you saw it? How about before then? When it was growing in your belly. When that baby was growing in your womb, and you could see the foot sticking out of your belly. I remember seeing, I don't remember if it was Abby or Adam, one of the two. You could see the whole foot in Naomi's belly. It was really kind of creepy, but it's kind of cool. Well, it was. She thought it was sweet. I was like, yeah, that's cool. Whatever. But how many know that women are nurturing by nature? Most of them. Most of them. When a child falls down, they don't go, Daddy! They go, Mom! Because Dad's like, put some dirt on it. And Mom's like, scrape, Mom's putting Band-Aids and spraying whatever. What's it called, Angela? Steri-strips. Okay, Steri-strips, and we're getting all that taken care of. But the church has to take on the attributes of a mother. Because we are birthing people into the kingdom of God. If that makes sense to anybody but me, I don't have near enough time to preach this. Okay, we are birthed, the church is supposed to birth people into the kingdom of God. That is our goal. Our goal is not to come and hang out. Our goal is not just to come and worship. Our ultimate goal is to birth children, birth people into the kingdom of God. and teach them and train them and raise them and nurture them and nurse them until they can handle eating. Oh my goodness, come on guys, come on, give me 6 more minutes. And nurture them and bless them and keep them and change their dirty diapers. Now I've changed a lot of dirty diapers. I know all you He-Men Women Hater Club people haven't. But I had. They're my children too. And do I like it? No. But I like a whole lot less than walking around with junk in the trunk, amen? Just letting you know. I'd rather clean that up. And so, makes my house smell better. I'm just letting you know. Then mothers are nurturing and they clean up and they do all that stuff. And mothers, thank God for, how many had a mother? Okay, I just want to check. I want to make sure you guys can get here some other way. All right. We all had mothers, correct? Everybody got here because of a mother, right? Thank God. All right, so when the church and Jesus come together and the bride and they come together, offspring are taken, are produced. And we're made, and the church is made pregnant with the seed of the Lord. And listen, the church is to give birth, to nurture, to raise, and develop the offspring of God. Do you realize what an awesome responsibility that is? Look at your family. All you that have children, look at your family. God made a way. He's showing you what the church is supposed to be because of a marriage and because of offspring. What is it supposed to be? The Father, Jesus and the church coming together in a union. Covenant. Covenant. Okay. Jesus and the church come together in covenant. They make a covenant. I swear I will do this for you. I swear I will do this for you. They love each other. They come together. Let's put it in biblical terms, they know one another. Adam knew his wife and his wife conceived. And so they know each other intimately. The church is, listen, we are so standoffish to Jesus, we don't really know Him. And therefore no children are produced. And we say, why are no children produced? Why is nobody getting saved? It's because we're not pressing in to know intimately our Savior and our husband, who is Jesus. How many know you can't sleep in separate bedrooms and have children come? And maybe you can sleep. Never mind. Okay. Go on, Jeff. Go on. Okay, I got you. All right. All right. So hear me. Hear me. How many know you can't dwell in separate bedrooms and have children produced? Doesn't happen that way. You have to come together in order for children to be produced. And so for us to compartmentalize God and to say, Jesus, I'll give you this, I'll give you Sunday and Wednesday, but the rest of the week I'm going to be in my own room doing my own thing. And then we say, why are no children produced? It's simple, because we're not intimate with Jesus and no children are being produced. And the children that are produced, we don't know how to handle. Okay. All right. I'm running out of time. 1 Corinthians chapter 1. I don't know if that's even right. That don't sound right. 1 Corinthians chapter 1. Oh, that don't sound right. I may have put down the wrong verse. Have you ever been preaching? All you guys have ever preached, have you ever just been preaching and tried to make a verse fit when it was the wrong verse? Well, I'm going to make that fit. Okay. That's not right. Maybe it's 2 Corinthians. What I want to get across is this. And maybe you Bible scholars can find it better than I can. It's where we are laborers together with Christ. We're laborers together with Christ. It's 6 and 9 of 1 Corinthians something. I just got in the wrong book, wrong chapter. It's 1 Corinthians something, 6 and 9. You guys find it for me real fast. But what I want to get across to you is this. Is that we are co-laborers. It's the verse that says God gives the increase. Apollos watered, I watered, Apollos planted or whatever, and God gave increase. Just look up Apollos, you'll find it. And God gives the increase. We are co-laborers with God. We are supposed to be together. This church cannot be built without God in it. Get with me. 3 and 9. I was close. All right. 3 and 6. First Corinthians, second. I'm getting there. 1 Corinthians 3 and 9. 3. Let's go 6 first. That's right. 3. That's it. There we go. Thank you, Dave. I have planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase. So that neither is he that planteth anything, neither is he that watereth, but God that giveth the increase. Can I share something with you? This church shall not be built without God in it. Because I've seen churches built without God in them, and they're dead, they're dry, they're doubly dead, plucked up at the roots, and don't have the good sense to lay down. Because I don't want a dead church. I don't want a goofy church, but I don't want a dead church either. I want a church that's built on the foundations of God. I want a church that we understand who God is and what God's doing in our lives. I want a church that's built with a foundation that God is. Jesus is the foundation. He's the cornerstone. That He's the master builder. I want us to have that kind of church. And we don't have that kind of church unless God gives increase. And I can water, you can plant, but we are nothing without God giving the increase. So church, can I share with you this? I can be in the church, I can do all these things, but unless we are co-laborers with Jesus, which is verse 9, we are co-laborers with Jesus, nothing is birthed because nothing is ever impregnated in the church. Okay, verse 9. Let's read verse 9. For we are laborers together with God. Ye are God's husbandry, and ye are God's building. Listen, unless we get together with Jesus and we build this thing, unless we come together as a church and quit worrying about our petty differences and focus on what God's doing for us and where God's taking us and what God is doing, we will birth children, but they will die during delivery because we are not able to birth them. We have got to understand this, that if we do not understand this, we'll not get anything. Mother's Day, hallelujah, thank God for mothers, because the mothers did the work. They pushed those babies out, they let the babies get cut out. How many of you ladies decided that the baby was worth more than your figure? You sacrificed, right? Guys, I love Sister Paula. I love the way she puts things. I'm going to use your measuring stick. That's okay. I give her credit, okay? Hey, if you'll say it out loud, I'll give you credit. All right, here's the deal. She said, everybody says something about how tall Adam is all the time. And you know how you get kids and you mark it on the wall? Nobody ever did that? I ain't marking on my wall. Well, I don't want to live in your house then. But you mark on the wall and see how high your kids are getting? She said, guys ought to have to stand and get this way. And get how far out they go, and women how far wide they go. I love that! I love that! I love her analogies. Man, some of the stuff that Paula thinks of is just amazing to me. But I love that we need, because that's the truth, man. The older I get, the wider and the thicker I get. I need to quit that. Amen? But listen, God gives increase, and we as a church have got to take the increase and go for it and run with it and be what God has called us to do. Listen, church, God's doing an amazing thing here. Please don't take it for granted. He's trying to get us ready to birth children. We've got to get to the age of maturity, though, so He can impregnate us with kids. Oh, that went over real good. Are you guys with me? You understand what I'm saying? I'm not talking about physically. We're maturing to a point we've never had to mature before. We can't continue to be bratty teenagers. It's time to elevate to to adults. It's time to go and have a ministry in your life and not just hang out and be ministered to, but be a ministry. What is a ministry? Serving. Serve people. This church, I want this church to serve families that love God and do both of them. That's all I want us to do. Listen, mothers love their children. I'm trying to skip around and get this in here. Mothers love their children. Well, most mothers love their children. Most love them before they ever arrive. I remember putting baby beds together, changing tables together, everything. Because before that baby got there, before Abby got there, she was ready to go. She had nicer furniture than we did. More toys than I had. Before she ever arrived, she was there. She had everything that she could ever need or want. And we call mothers that don't love their children, society, we call them sick and twisted. Okay, in my house, we call them, there's something wrong with them. How can a mother not love their children? They birthed them. And listen, I know things happen, and I'm not here to judge you. I have no axe to grind with you if you don't like your kids. That's fine. But it's inherent in God, and that God has placed inside mothers to love their children. And the ones that don't, we say there's something wrong with them. Have you not ever watched the news and go, what's wrong with her? Okay. What's wrong with them? Why would they do that? Of course, we don't know everything that's going on in their lives, but still yet, we don't know what's going on in their head. But still yet, we have to understand that God has placed it in mothers to love. So let me ask you this. God has given the church an awesome duty of being the bride of Christ to bring forth His offspring and to raise them into maturity. Listen, but there's some people that we birth that we don't like. I'm just saying, we've got to become that church. I don't say you have to like everything. It's not even possible for everybody just to get kumbaya. I'm asking you to brotherly and sisterly love each other. I'm not asking you to take each other out to dinner. I'm not asking you to be the best friend to everybody in the church. I'm not asking you that either. What I'm asking you to do is love each other in the love of the Lord and want the best for people because they want the best for you. That's what I'm asking. That's the unity. Listen, don't you think that the devil knows if he can break up the love of this church and the unity of this church, he can break up this church? Don't you think he knows that? I've never had anybody come to me and say, that church loved me too much. I hate that church. No one's ever said that. But I have them come say, well, nobody even shook my hand, which I find that very hard to believe. If that's true, then we missed the mark. But I find that very hard to believe. Because every time I see somebody come in, it's like locusts. 15 people come to them. I mean, I just watch, and I'm not saying that didn't happen. I'm saying it's hard for me to believe that we've missed the mark that bad if that did happen. But I just want this church to have the spirit of love in it, the spirit of unity in it, because mothers, listen to me, we need you. I thank God for the examples that this church has set as far as loving you and watching you love your kids and growing up, and I just love it. This church is strong because we have strong families in it. Amen, Brother Jeff, that's great preaching. You're awesome. Thank you. And so I have to encourage myself every now and then. But listen, we are strong because of the families. And I'll be honest with you, it's not always the case, but a lot of time the case is, if a mother's strong in the house, the family is strong. Because there's different roles. Now, Father's Day, I'll talk about fathers. Give me 4 weeks, I'll talk about fathers. But I'm talking about mothers today. When a mother is strong in her beliefs, strong in what she believes in and what she's doing in her life, when she's strong in all those things, I dare say that the family is strong. How many mothers in here would go to church if their husbands didn't go? Come on. That's what I'm saying. You wouldn't like it. You wouldn't like it, but you'd go. Because you know it's the right thing to do. And in our church, I watch. I know it seems like I don't pay attention to anything, but I've gotten very good at acting like I'm not watching. For a reason. Because you won't act like yourself if you know I'm watching. Sneaky preacher. Thank you. It's the truth. You won't act like you normally act if you think I'm watching. But if I just hanging out, blending in, and I watch how you love your kids, and I watch how you cry over your children that don't come to church, and I watch how you raise a hand and say, Brother Jeff, would you please pray for so-and-so, your child? Because it breaks your heart that they know better, and still yet let people and things get in the way of being in the house of God. I watch how you love them. And I watch and I hear in your voice the pain as you say, they're not coming to church and they know better. Mother, can I help you just a minute? Don't give up praying on your baby. Don't give up praying for your children. Don't give up on them. God hasn't given up. Don't you dare give up. Keep praying. Keep holding out that God's going to bring them to the house of God. Keep hanging out. Keep holding on that God's going to bring them to their knees. Maybe it's in their bedroom. Maybe it's in their kitchen. Maybe it's on the drive from work to home. Wherever it is, that God's going to get a hold of their life. Because somebody somewhere has a mama praying for them. And mama's prayers seem to go a lot further than daddy's prayers sometimes. Because daddy's, it's easier for us just to put it out of our mind and we don't have to deal with it. But mothers worry over it, meditate over it, worry about their baby. What's my baby? I don't care if you're 75 years old and your mother's 95. Your mother still worries about you. I told the story one time. I'll tell last. This is the thing I want to quit with. There was an old man who came to a preacher after service. He said, I want you to pray for my son. I don't know where he's at today. I don't know if he's hungry. I don't know if he's cold. I don't know if he has a place to stay. I want you to help me pray for my son. And he said, sir, I will do that. But how old are you, by the way? He said, I'm 89 years old. 89 years old. He said, well, how old is your son? 72. He's still worried about his son. Mothers and fathers worry over their children. And listen, can I share with you that God's word is true? That He will bring them. He will bring them back. He will bring them to another opportunity. He will show them another way. If they were raised right and they know different, they know that God's going to bring them back. Mothers here today, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart and from this church. This church doesn't operate without you. Church, that's a good place to give your mothers an amen. Amen. This church does not operate without the mothers in this church. This church does not go forward without the mothers. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. All mothers that are represented today, I thank you from the bottom of my heart because of every kind word you've ever given to your children, every band-aid you've ever put on them, every correction that was given. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for loving us and keeping us safe. Mothers, thank you for loving us and keeping us safe. I love you for it. Thank you for being the mother, whether you were a birth mother to us or we just ended up with you and you got us somehow. But you've mothered us, and I thank you for that. I praise God for that. For the mothers that are willing to step out and take somebody else's baby and love them. Listen, we bless you today. I bless you today and pray that God truly rewards you for your faithfulness and your heart and your willingness to raise the next generation. It's not easy, is it? That's a good place for a no. Thank you. It's not easy. It's not easy to be the caregiver. It's not. It's not easy to be the nose wiper or the sleeve looker at her. Any of your kids ever wipe their nose on your sleeve and you go, really? Back before I had kids, my shirts were starched and pressed. I could care less now. That got snotted out of me. I had one kid. I don't care no more. I want them clean, but they don't have to be starched anymore. But I want to share with you, I want to tell you, happy Mother's Day, guys. Love you. You're so awesome. Stand to your feet with me. I'll get you out of here.